I didn't know what process worked.
Okay, gentlemen, you're on.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. The first order of business is to approve the minutes from the February 27th, 2025 MPO policy board meeting.
Move second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Item 2 carries. Item number 3, adopt resolution 2522 approving the FY 2026 draft unified planning work program, or also known as the UPWP. Wayne?
Yeah, this is an annual work program that we do every year that basically outlines tasks that we have to accomplish to satisfy federal and state regulations. If you look in the document, there's about 17 different tasks. Covers everything from technology to long-range planning to travel demand modeling to administration costs. It covers all of that in the task. It's basically laid out, like I said earlier, to make sure we do things that needs to be done to satisfy federal rules and regulations. We do this document each year. We usually do the draft in June, come back to do the final in late August. And this year, I did a little bit different. They wanted to review the draft before we brought the draft to y'all. So they basically done reviewed this document. So the draft is probably going to be the final. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of changes in the document between now and the final. And but they did review it. FHWA looked at it too. So the document's in good shape as of right now, unless something else changes on the federal level. We did have to take some things out that the new administration took out. Anything dealing with greenhouse gas, we took out. Anything dealing with climate change, we took out. Which we knew that was coming out, but we just had to get guidance from OutDOT and FHWA what they want to take out. But them are taken out. There was some factors that changed also. There was a couple of factors that went away because of them executive orders and regulations from the Department of Transportation. So with that being the case, that is pretty much the UPWP for FY 2026.
You just wrote on.
Yeah, just wrote it on the line.
All right, you heard Wayne's explanation. Do we have a motion to adopt resolution 20? All right.
Second.
Motion to second, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, adopt resolution 2523 to amend the current TIP to decrease construction funding for the following project improvements on Block Ridge Road and State Road 3 or US Highway 31.
Now, this is an MPO project for the city of Hartselle. I was informed that this project actually bid Friday, and it's probably going to go down and cost some more, which is a good thing because it saves Hartselle money and also saves the MPO, additional MPO from on this project. So we'll wait until we get the final numbers. Once it goes through the process at OutDOT, and once we get the final numbers, we'll do another resolution to reflect the changes.
We need to pass this one.
Yes, sir.
So moved. All right, we have a motion and a second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 2523 carries.
Mayor, that didn't hurt your feelings.
I was upset. Yeah, because we opened bids on buildings today. Item number 5, adopt resolution 2524 to amend the current TIP to increase right-of-way funding on the following project. Intersection improvements, including turn lanes and traffic signals at State Road 36 and Lando County Road.
Yes, this is another MPO project. This one might hurt us speaking a little bit because the estimate cost went up on this. But this is an MPO project with MPO paying the federal share and the city of Hartselle paying their local match, which is, these are estimates. So when it bids, it may come in less or it may come in more.
So moved. We have a motion and a second. Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor of approving this resolution? Any opposed? Resolution 2524 carries. Item number 6, adopt resolution 2525 to amend the current transportation improvement program to add the following project. level of effort section of 5307 Decatur apportionment for FY 2023.
These next two projects are level effort transit projects that is administered through the transit agency here. We really don't have to bring these to the board. They don't have to have a resolution for them. I can do administrative modification and because they're level of effort, we always bring these projects to the board to where y'all know what's going on inside of a lot of these projects. This is funding, as you notice, this one is from 23 and the next one's from fiscal year 24. This is money that hasn't been used in the transit allocation for the state that they're now using. So it's always usually a year or two behind. And that's what they're doing. They're using that money up. So they got a certain amount of time to use that money, and that's what we're looking at here. And that money is usually for both of these is for operation admin and running the transit system, 5307.
Our cost.
Yes, it's not.
You heard Dwayne's explanation. Can we do both these together since they're both the same thing? Motion for both? Second. We have a motion second to approve 2525 and 2526. Any discussion? All in favor? Those motions carried. Next item is new business.
We just got that resolution.
Okay, we have one more resolution. It's a new project. I'm not gonna read all the whereas, because I want to do. All right, the project description is bridge deck rehab on I-65 bridges over Cedar Creek. State Road 67.
Yeah, this is an outbound project. It's also, it's a level effort, but it's a two, so it has to have a resolution. So I'm gonna let Outbaugh explain what they're doing on this.
So this is the two bridges on I-65 down just south of Thompson Road.
Okay.
And then the two bridges over 67 that the bridge decks themselves need some repair work. And so what's planned, and of course, we're just now getting into the planning part of it, but the thought is we need to, it'll be hydro demolition. They have these units that use water to remove concrete, and it usually takes it down to just about the first mat of rebar, and then you put in a few inches of concrete to improve that deck where you get, that cracking and things where we're having to patch things. So we should be beginning the design part of that hopefully later this year. Funding is available or early next fiscal year. Planning wise, that's probably a fairly short duration design. So hopefully, be bidding a project maybe toward the tail end of 26 or sometime in 27.
Y'all heard the brother's explanation. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 2527? Motion second. Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor? I wrote on it. Did I write?
No.
Okay. All right, motion carried. Let's see what it's now. Update.
All right, so as far as projects that we have under construction, we've got the I-65 bridge rehab project that's been ongoing now for a while. Contractor's wrapping up the painting part of it. They're working on the southern end of the project. They have the smaller steel plate girders, and then there's some piling there on the very end of the bridge. They've been painting those areas. They've still got some other items of work to do throughout the summer and into the fall, and projected to finish that project up sometime in the fall.
Go a lot smoother than everybody thought.
We think so. Yeah, we really do. We've been very pleased with the contractor that's done the work and the progress. A project that's not in this area, but we thought we might include it, the I-565 widening. It's about 25% complete. Obviously, the last few months been really wet, so progress has slowed some. Hopefully, that'll really pick up and allow them to continue that widening project. It's in Madison County. I-65 resurfacing, in Morgan County. We bid that project a few months ago. It's actually two projects in one, that would resurface, I-65 throughout Morgan County. Contractor should start on the southern part, maybe next week is what they're telling us. So that work will be done at night for the paving. That was, Grayson Carter. Grayson Carter. That's right, that's right. Excuse me. And so they should start on that hopefully next week. There is some bridge repair work that's got to be done. I'm sure some of you are aware that we had a bridge that was struck by a vehicle a month or so ago. We've elected to include that repair work in the work that the bridge contractor we had in this bid. We have to raise a couple of bridges. Up the River Road is one of the bridges that we have to raise to meet our clearances after we resurface it. So that work should be going on throughout the summer and into the fall. We have a signage replacement project on I-65 that's Morgan County and Limestone County. That has been bid, and the contractors in the process of securing the sign panels. Traffic shouldn't see much impact from that work. Contractor will be all on the shoulder replacing signs. We also have an ITS project on I-65 that's from Crossville to Athens. That contractor has started work and they're running conduit on the shoulder. That's another project that traffic shouldn't see much of an impact on. The Causeway Lighting project here in Decatur, my understanding that project's somewhere between 50 and 75% complete. And the project should wrap up pretty soon, I believe. Resurfacing on State Route 67 from US 31 to State Route 24. Grayson Carter was a little bit on that project as well, and they're projected to start that project in the next week or so. Plan to start on the US 31 end and progress over toward Danville Road. Part of the bid package was they had to do that segment before they could progress from Danville Road over to State Route 24. That work is going to be done at night as well, and should be ongoing throughout the summer. Resurfacing on State Route 24 from South Railway Drive, or excuse me, A-Trip 2 project at State Route 24 and South Railway Drive in Trinity. That project was bid in March, and pre-con meetings have been held. The contractor should be starting on that project soon. Projects in the design phase, the US 31 bridge is over here beside the district office. Our design's about 90% complete. We are in some discussions with Norfolk Southern Railroad about some of the things they've asked us to do, trying to work through those issues with them. I-65 bridge replacements down at Lakon. This is the 4 bridges. There's 2 over CSX and there's 2 over Flint Creek. That's another one where we're working through discussions with the state railroad to try to satisfy their requirements so we can move forward with our design. They mentioned the bridge deck rehabilitation project. That one, hopefully PD should be authorized soon so we can start our design. Some other resurfacing projects, State Route 24 from Lawrence County line over to the Belt line. My understanding, Grayson Carter was a little bit on that, and they should start sometime toward the end of the summer after they finish the Belt line. State Route 20 in Lawrence County from Hillsborough to Ward County line, Wiregrass is projected to start on that project later this summer. MPO projects, Hartsville Long Ridge Road, US 31 project that was bid last week. Rogers Group was apparent low bidder, around 1.2 million. And, you should see work beginning on that project in the coming months. Culvert replacement on West Morgan Road over Bakers Creek. Design is complete and that project is scheduled to bid in July. Intersection improvements on State Route 36 at Lando Cane Road. The design is about 85% complete. We have requested right-of-way authorization. I think there's about 12 trains of right-of-way. So we should be delivering on that part of it soon. And construction is currently scheduled for 2026. Church Street reconstruction indicator here, US 31 to Somerville Road. That PE was recently authorized and consultant started that design. I believe there should be submitting 30% plans this week. A-Trip 2 projects, Decatur has a project on State Route 67 to Upper River Road. Right-of-way acquisition is complete and the structure has been demoed and the consultant's geotechnical engineer should do the drilling soon to allow them to finish the materials design for the roadway realignment. And the A-Trip 2 project in Hartselle at US 31 Sparkman Street, they should be holding an 85% plan review in the next few weeks, and it's currently scheduled for fiscal year 2026. So that's what I have today.
That's a long report. Y'all got a lot going on.
We've got a few, yes, sir.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you, sir. Judge, you have anything you want?
No,
Steph, you have anything you want? Make sure covered. Dwayne, you got anything?
Yeah, I just want to kind of talk about the long-range transportation plan. Our long-range transportation plan has to be done every 5 years. It's coming due in May 26. We have all the data done and are progressing with getting the model calibrated for validate in the near future. That data, we had to collect housing units, retail, non-retail employment, school enrollment, and dorm rooms, which we never had any dorm rooms before, but we do have a few now. But all that data was collected in the planning area, which it takes a lot to do that. We have to address range it and put it in each zone. We have 320 zones that all that data has to be put in. We take that data and we run a travel demand model and validate that to the current year, which is 2020. And then we project traffic out to 2050 to see what all that data is going to do to the roadway. Once we validate that data on the base year 2020, we had a census in 2020, so we got good data, got better housing data. But we project all that data and then we project out to 2050 to see what it's doing to the roadways. And we're gonna have roadways that are over capacity, some are not. But in the long range plan, we have to look at that and try to fix the problems that we have. This is a continuation of the 2025 plan that we have, was approved 5 years ago. And there's a lot of projects in that plan that's going to be in this one because they haven't been completed yet. This plan is not like a land use plan. We have to take land use into account, but it's not a regular planning document. It's a transportation document that has to be financially constrained. So in other words, all the projects that go in the funded side has to have funding, a dedicated funding source tied to it. So us, along with Aldott and local planning in Montgomery, we project revenue out for that 25 years. And we try to put projects in over that 25-year period. And we have to break them down by capacity projects and O&M projects or operation and maintenance, such as intersection resurfacing and that time. So once we do all of that, it has to be, whatever the budget is, our budget's $100. $10. If you go over that, we have to put it on what they call a visionary side. So some of your larger projects, your widening projects are going to go on the visionary side. So once funding becomes available for them, they can move over into the long range transportation plan. Why that's important, we're sitting here amending the TIP today. All projects that enter in that TIP are supposed to come out of the long range transportation plan. So in order to be put in the TIP, they need to be in the long range transportation plan. So especially the ones that's adding capacity. So we're working on that now, and the way we normally handle it, we have to have public participation throughout that process. We usually come and meet with everybody individually. We bring stuff in here. You're gonna be seeing some data and other things in future meetings, and I know it's for it. And a lot of us been through this stuff before, it's boring, and some of it may be interesting, some of that may be kind of interesting, but a lot goes into it. So we've got all the data done. We now have to validate the model. It's just gonna take us a little bit. Now that the MPOs in the state switch modeling softwares last year, we went to a new system. And that system is a little bit more challenging than the older system about setting the modeling steps up. So what we're doing is we're doing it in the old and we'll convert it to the new. And once that time comes, so once we get converted, for future folks having to run a model, it's gonna be a lot easier because it works more like a GIS system. It's one click. You don't have to do a whole lot of programs. But for somebody like me, you know, it's hard to teach your old dog new tricks. I'm used to going in and doing stuff in the program and stuff more. And we'll get there. It's just harder to put in. We got behind just a little bit on our modeling because I thought we was going to get money for the next phase of the bridge study. And we're still going to get money for that, but we didn't get it soon enough because we
Those are the passion budget.
yeah. So we was going to put that in with the bridge study to make a better freight model in that model to where we could estimate freight better. We haven't received money yet, so we couldn't wait on that, so we gotta move forward. Hopefully the money will be in the next appropriations bill, and we can move forward with that. But that's just a little explanation of where we're going.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to bring before the board?
We put in a trip two package, and I'm gonna ask y'all for letters of support.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Anybody against that?